slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow.
Hey, welcome back guys to my channel. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos and learning something new from my channel. Every video I post, my goal is to share something new. So I hope you guys are, enjoying and learning on the same time from my channel, and of course with the other channels as well. So as you can see, this is EcoFlow River, like a power station. I guess the model number is EF number 4. Now, I have been using this power station for the last, I don't know, I think maybe 6 months, or yeah, about 6 months. And honestly, I love this. I don't have a whole lot of, heavy use or heavy, need of power station, but this comes kind of handy, when I'm doing certain testing in my house and I don't have an outlet nearby me. So, I kind of use this for like a power outlet source, which is this. Now, the one thing I did not like in this model, and of course, this is also comes very handy when there is a power outage in my area, some sort of like a hurricane or, thunderstorm and stuff like that. So this comes pretty handy in small power outages. So the only thing, I thought it's missing or kind of inconvenient is this button that I recently installed. And as you may have seen my thumbnail of this video, that basically I will be kind of modifying the power button. So the problem in my case is, again, this may not happen to everyone, but it may be useful to some people, depends on how you use your power station, right? So okay, in my scenario, right, and again, this can also apply to people using in a camper van or maybe in their garage, in their storage, I mean whatever the case is, right? So what I don't like in this model is the power button is on the front, which is this. Now the outlet is on the side, as you can clearly see. Now the problem is because on my shelf in my house, on my shelf, it's always like sitting like this, so I have other stuff laying around next to it and it's sitting on the top of the bench or something. And here are the plugs, because this is my side I prefer in my shelf. So that way, if I have to plug something, I plug straight right in. But now the problem is the freaking button is on this side. So I'm always, like taking my hand like, I'm like finding the button. This button is so tiny right below. And I always get confused and I'm always like, oh, this is the button. Okay, I pressed it. So it's just hassle. It's not a big deal. Maybe I'm just being picky, but it's just inconvenience thing. So I'm always like trying to find this button, and then I find it and I press it, and I always have to make sure I turn it off so that way the battery don't die. And then there's a whole lot of issue happens if the battery dies, then you cannot charge it and a whole lot of issues. So my plan was to install this button. Look at that. It's power off. So my plan was to install a button this side to make my life easier. So now if I need to access these port, look at that. I simply press this button, it's powered on right now, and then I press this and voila, it's working. Easy peasy. And if I want to turn it off, either you can press to power this puppy off, or you can press and hold straight here, and there you go, it's completely powered off. And let me show you a demo this side. So see, I'm going to press once, there you go, it's powered on. And now to power off, I press and hold. There you go, power off simply. And now of course it's not going to turn on. Look at that. So this is making my life so much easier and I absolutely love it. And again, this is not a rocket science. I just kind of did it, 2-3 days ago, and I'm like, what, dang it, I forgot to make a video. And I was like, what, I think this trick or tip might help a lot of people out there that may be using a same model, or maybe similar modification on a similar power station, or maybe a different brand, I don't know. But yeah, this is what I'm planning to show you guys and share how I did this button installation with all the wiring and soldering and all that good stuff. Again, I already did it, but my plan is to kind of go back, open this puppy to show you guys exactly how I did it. So that might be, helpful to you guys. Again, just a simple button I will be putting on a side. That's all. So yeah. So let's start without wasting too much time. And also, I recently bought this Again, I'm not a sponsor. I should have mentioned I'm not a sponsor of this EcoFlow or this screwdriver. I recently purchased this screwdriver on Amazon. Maybe I'll post something on the on a video. Now the cool thing about this screwdriver is you have a lot of, like, what, 10 bits? No, 6 this side, 6. So it's about 12 screwdriver bits right on the back side, and you can close this lid, and of course you put in here. Now another cool thing is you can extend the height. Now look at that. Now look at that. You can extend the height. It's locked. You can use this screwdriver for different purposes, and you press it, it goes back. Or you can also take this whole thing out, plug in a drill bit or screwdriver drill bit, and use it that way. I mean, it is so cool. Plus it's magnetic. I think I paid for like $7 or something. It was on a Prime Day deal, and I bought it on Amazon, and I thought that was a pretty good price for $7 with that many bits. And this has all the bits I need for this purposes as well. So yeah, so I'm gonna be using this. So yeah, let me open this puppy and we will go from there. Alright guys, so yeah, I removed all the screws. So you simply just remove this upper thing or upper handle or whatever. So yeah, this thing will come right off. Oh, look at that, already on. So power it off. So yeah, you simply kind of hold this front assembly and the side, and you just lift it up, and it will come right on. But now, because I installed this button, and that's why you can see I kind of have this wire long, and the reason I did it extra long, so that way if I open in future, this won't be, you know, tied too close to this front plate. So yeah, there are 3 connections, 1, 2, and 3. You have to remove these 3 plug and play wires before you can remove this front assembly, because the button is located right on the front side. So you remove this 1, 2, and 3, and here how you can remove it. Simple as that, no rocket science. Now to open this front assembly, there are what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 screws and 2 for the LEDs. You have to remove all of them in order to access the button area, right? So yeah, let's remove that puppy. Alright, all the screws are removed. So you simply just lift this little plate, and it basically has some pins inside, as you can see. These are for this little Wi-Fi module. Maybe I can bring it close. This is for this Wi-Fi module, and also this is for the LED and stuff like that. So these kind of go in these holes. So you simply just remove it. Easy peasy. And now this plate will just lift right off. But the problem is we have a LCD, so I would kind of do this way. Look at that. So do this way, otherwise your LCD will just fall down, which I don't like to do. Okay, so here is, we have official access to our front panel, right? Let me actually plug my second camera so somehow I can show you better, because I don't think you can see it super clear with this camera. Hope you can see with this other view. Now this is the button, okay, and I'm gonna take my multimeter here. Okay, I'm gonna kind of explain you about this button. So the button, again, this is a straight, right? So this one side, this wire on the top and this wire on the top are basically connected, and this are connected. So basically, in order to turn on this power station, you basically press and hold these 2 knobs at the bottom. So either you do this way or this way, and I can show you with my multimeter. Look at that. It's on the continuity setting. So if I put my prong on this side and this side, look at it, it makes a beep because they're already connected. And if I do the same thing this side and this side, it makes a beep noise, right? Now these 2 are the one that has to be pressed down in order to power on this power station. So I'm going to put my prongs here carefully. Hopefully you can see it. It's hard to hold it down here. There you go. I'm going to press the button now. Look at that. I release. Look at that. So now it's working, right? Now this board is double printed. You know, double printed, I mean the prongs are touching here. These little connections are not on the other side. You know, in the thinner plates, because this is pretty thick plate. Look at the size. It's pretty thick plate. In some of the thinner ones, normally, you know, when something is touching here, you can go on the back side and you can solder the wires there. I looked at it on the back side. It's totally different stuff. Look at that. It's all different, you know, components. So you can't do that. I tried it because, of course, I don't like to touch my solder on this little plastic button, but I really have no option. I also looked up, I also tried to, you know, trace down these wires. Yeah, I looked at it. I also tried tracing these, but they're so tiny. I just do not feel comfortable, you know, scraping this little carbon or green color off and solder here. I can find one of them, but you know, the second one was pretty hard. So I was like, you know what? This side I don't feel comfortable putting my solder just because they have this little resistance or something. So I'm like, you know what? Why don't I put the solder this side? So this side I felt kind of comfortable. So yeah, so what I did, I basically soldered one wire here and one wire here. As you can simply see, let me make sure you can see it. Yeah, hopefully you can see it, but yeah. So I basically soldered one wire on the top and one wire here, and it was working perfect. And this button you can see, and by the way, to make a hole, I also looked at it because this is a fan assembly. This goes right here on the fan. So this space is kind of empty. Look at that, this space. So this space was something I'm like, you know what, this space is good. I'm going to basically use this space for the button. So that is where I basically made a hole using one of this bit. I don't know exactly what it's called, but this one, you know, you can find in pretty much any hardware store. I have like different sizes, and I used one of these to make a perfect hole. You know, it was just beautiful, neat, tiny hole, and I was able to plug this push button, simple push button, right here. It looks perfectly neat, and it has like a little nut on the back side. It just goes like washer, and it just goes perfectly tight. By the way, I ordered this button on AliExpress from China. I don't remember how much I paid. I think I paid $1 or $2 or something like that for, I don't know, 10 of them or 6 of them. They were so cheap. Maybe I'll post something, but this is like so cheap. I think it's like 10-15 cents total. And I used the wire that was just sitting in my house. And yeah, this is how I did it. And I put the wire around here like this, so that way I'm not touching all this component, and it just closed down perfect. So that's exactly what I did. So yeah, you guys can easily do it. But I'm gonna close this puppy back. And yeah, when you close it, make sure you put this little lens for the LED, because this goes first, like in here like that. You can just kind of put it in here, and then the other part will go later. So yeah, you have to make sure you put it in here. And yeah, now I can simply look at that, how it closed it. Just make sure the wires are not pressed down with something. That's one thing I was kind of just paying attention as I was closing it down like that. Simple. So yeah, basically now I'm gonna close it very, very slow. So yeah, let's see this. Here are the screws. Yep, I do one in the middle, so that way it's kind of tight itself. And yeah, everything else looks neat. No issues. And don't over tight it, because again, it's a plastic. Okay, so once you put everything back on, you just have to put this LED. Just make sure these 4 pins or 8 pins just line up right on these latch or whatever the hole is. It's not hard, it just has to just latch on, and make sure the LED is right on the middle. And that's it. Okay, so that's it. Simple as that. I'm gonna test it just to show you guys the final result. I mean, as open, I mean. So yeah, just make sure the wires are not touching here and there. There you go. So this one goes right in here, this side one. This one, I would actually plug this yellow one first because that's a power one. And now this one is that's going to the BMS inside, like that. So there you go. Now I can either press this button. There you go, it's powered on. Or I can press the button this side. There you go, power off. So simple as that, guys. But yeah, so now when you close this puppy back, oops, look at that. That's not good. I don't want to have the screw touching to my components. But yeah, now you can kind of just fold this wire in this area because we know there's an extra room this side. So just fold here so that way it's not gonna, you know, hit the fan blades. So this is how I did it. So look at that. So just kind of fold the wire more this side, just away from the fan. Doesn't have to be perfect. And voila, look at that. Perfect. There you go. Powered on, powered off. Now I simply put this last piece up like that. Don't you Alright guys, so this is it. I'm just gonna put the cap on, but yeah, it's working. I hope you guys, you know, learned something new, and I hope this tip or this trick would help you guys. But yeah, thank you for watching. You know, if you think you learned something new, I would appreciate if you can, you know, subscribe my channel to help support, so I can come up with newer ideas, you know, to share with everybody out there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and you know, enjoy your day. And yeah, stay tuned guys, we'll show some new stuff to you guys soon. But yeah, peace out, have a good day.